Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. All right, we in this. So I did a reading earlier. A reading. I did a little reading earlier. It wasn't really a reading. It was more like a test. It was. I mean, okay, it was a reading, but I was also using the reading to test out equipment and to see different settings and this, that, and the third. Da 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 da. But I just finished a photo shoot in which, you know, YouTube was a little bit of behind the scenes for that. And then, boom, photo shoot finished. Now we back for the situation. And I just had this inkling to go into my deck and relook at the cards because I remembered when I made the video that I did not go into the book to read what this particular card said, and I should have because this is a new deck for me. So, and even still, my decks may be unfamiliar to the audience that I'm speaking to. So, it's always helpful, no matter how long you've had the decks for, to go back into the books and see what the book got to say. Because then, too, the book going to hit different every single time because you're at a different phase of your life every single time you get into the deck. You feel me? And so when I looked at the card initially, I was just like, yeah, feeling safe, da 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 da. Then I wanted to go back into the card and just see what I got from it some more so intuitively. And looking at the card, I was like, the way that it's drawn, it looks like this individual just got to this space of safety. Like they're not comfortably sitting in it lavish, da da da. They're like, okay, I'm feeling safe, but this is new. And the way it looked to me was that there was this portal that they just came through, and now they're sitting on the other side of the portal, kind of looking around, taking account of their surroundings, realizing that they did just make it to a new spot where they can feel safe. And what is it that she's been through that she has not felt? You know what I mean? To become the goddess of feeling safe, like you must have went through some shit to be like, no, not only am I going to be safe, but I'm going to become the goddess of it. Like that's how much I'm going to be safe. You know? So, in going into the book, I pulled up the four because that's the card we had, and it's Tabuta, and it's Goddess of Feeling Safe. And then it says Barbados, Guyana, and Salem. Temple ancestor is element air. We're going to stop right there real quick because it's hitting me different because I know what I've been going through in my life. You know what I mean? I know what type of research I've been doing lately, and I know what type of time I've personally been on. So for this card to come for me right now in my situation, it's just like, wow, this is hitting harder and deeper than I don't want to say initially expected, but like, whoa. You know what I mean? Like, I did not fathom it could go that deep. I mean, I fathomed it could, but I didn't know we were about to go that deep today. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know. I was not prepared for the deepness. And then it's extra hitting me because earlier today, while I was in the Urban Decay, you know, and I didn't purchase this makeup. This makeup was given to me by a neighbor. And this particular lipstick had not been used yet. And it was called Ancient. And I put it on my lips. You feel me? And I said to myself out loud, why do I look and feel like Cardi B? Like, that shit is crazy. You feel me? I could say what's in this book. And a part of me wants to. But there's a other part of me that's like, go get it your damn self. You know? And the part of me that's telling you, go get it your damn self, are the people who's watching this video who's not me. But I know that I'm going to watch my video again. And I'm going to be like, bitch, we already got it. So just tell me what's up. You feel me? But I can't do that. I can't do that. So, because one of two things. Either you're with the deck right now and you should just go get it, or you're not with the deck right now and you still want me to give you the information. but you know I can't do that. So the best that I could do for you right now is to tell you Tibuta, you know, and you're gonna have to go into the Googles, you know, because if you don't have the deck and you're seeing this video, then that means it's time for you to go into the Googles. It's time for you to go into the Googles. So go into the Googles and figure it out. Go into the Googles, or and or get the deck, and or get the deck. You know, go into the Googles and or get the deck. So that's that. What was it? Four of Cups. It was Four of Cups for sure. A four in this suit refers to a restless time where a person may have become dissatisfied with life and emotionally uncomfortable, feeling stagnated, longing for a change. The heart ponders its options as it should. The Four of Cups in this position wants you to take a clear look at how stalled or distracted you have become. You may have been bogged down by negativity, hopelessness, or a sense of limitation. It is not your advantage, however, to see the world through such a narrow lens. Cut through some of the forces that undermine you, causing you to feel incapable. Sometimes you have to define what you are for by defining what you are against. Decide that you are not as heavy as the cup of earth, not placid as is the cup of water, not turbulent as is the cup of air. Rather, now may be the time to be as aroused as is the cup of fire. This arousal may constitute liberation from the circumstances that may have brought you here. This arousal may constitute liberation from the circumstances that may have brought you here. Four of Cups. That was not my interpretation, but that's okay. It's still speaking to the same thing. You're looking at life in one perspective, but here's this other perspective that the universe is trying to give to you. And then they talk about the spirit of fire. Well, if we know anything about fire, we know that fire is that element that represents otherworldliness. You know, in order to have fire, it's not, people who are made of fire are not from Earth necessarily, not from this realm. You know, they're from someplace else. So they've come here to share, because in order for their existence to happen, they had to like two things in this existence had to happen, and then boom, their existence became a reality. But they don't just exist in this reality, you know? Something had to bring them here. So, yes, these circumstances may have brought you here to this cup of fire, but now is your opportunity to use this energy and fuel it for what you want to do in life. It's almost as if it was the gas you actually needed to get you going in whatever direction you want to go. Now that you have this fuel and you've built your car and you're in the driver's seat, where you finna go? You feel what I'm saying? Now you could choose to crash out and be like, shh, I'm gonna go and fuck these people up. Or you could say, or I'm gonna go and check out some land, you know, and stack my bread and throw me a festival. You know, have me a motherfucking party. And have me a motherfucking party. Because one thing is for certain, two things for sure. Having that, and if you stay focused on that, it'll come. You know, but you can't confuse the universe and be like, but this and that and that. It's like, no, this, that, bring it. You know? And not only that, you have to be thankful now for it and vibrate in the energy of you already having it. That's how you're going to call it in. And by being distracted by all of this other bullshit, it took away from your focus of calling in that which you truly wanted. So yes, you have decided you don't want to deal with this shit, but now what do you want to deal with? This is what you want to deal with. You know what I'm saying? And having that focus and being able to do that and be in that space and experience that sense of accomplishment will put you in a space of like, now I can actually, you know what I'm saying? Move how I want to move. And what you should be able to do, you should be able to move how you want to move. And on a level, it's like you've already paid the price, you know, for a crime that you didn't commit. So you got options. You can either commit the crime that people said that you did or not, you know, but you know what I'm saying? You did the time. It's time to benefit. Exactly. It's time to leave that shit in the past. It's time to move on. Because at that point, when you turn around and you say, get the fuck out my face, it's from a different place, you know? It's now you really are the leader. Because you got something everybody else got. You know what I'm saying? And now motherfuckers gonna be asking you, how did you do it? And then that's when you get to charge whatever it is that you want to charge, because you got the knowledge. You can structure it however you want to. You can do whatever you want, and you don't owe nobody no explanation, and you don't have to bend or shift or change to accommodate nothing, because you know what it took for you to get to the certain space, and you know what it's going to take to maintain it. That's why it's yours. So, my dear, do whatever you gotta do to get yourself in that space and to stay in that space and to discipline yourself to remain in that space. And when you find yourself slipping out of that space, or other things trying to get you from being in that space, you say, oh, I see. Oh, I see, you got to go. Oh, I see, you got to go real bad. Oh, I see, you got to go real bad. You know what I'm saying? I see, you got to go real bad. And on that note, we're going to dip out of here, because I need to wash my face and do my things and mind my business. But I wanted to share that bit with you. I wanted to share that bit with you because I was like, what? What? I mean, the whole point of me coming on the video was to tell you specifically that. But when I got on here, I was just like, do I even really want to tell you? Golly. All right, fine, girl. Because if that was the point, that was the point. Like, not you made me go out. Listen. I'm sorry. Yes, Knight of Coins. Ride on. You who are generated by Earth. The powerful buffalo escorts you. Money absorbed your time, but your time is not only money. For you saw the dust on the hooves of your horse. A mature and responsible person, reliable, methodical, patient, persistent, ability to conclude a task, laborious, organized, capable, a dependable person. I mean, it's really true because truth be told, getting to this point has been a multi-layered experience. So it wasn't that I wasn't even not focused on what it is that I'm going after. It's more so as I'm on my way, I've had to deal with certain things, and then as I finish dealing with them things, I'm like, "Is we done dealing with that? Alright, let's move on back to what we was focused on." Because I gotta protect what it is. So let's go to number 4. All right. Before I get into this, let me just say that if you're on my TikTok, Rainbow Dancer 811, you will see that I have the Bayesian flag in my profile picture. Rainbow dot dancer dot 811. Anybody else is an imposter. So that then I was doing some family research and I was finding out that my great great grandmother, who I'm named after, is born in British Guyana, when it was British Guyana. For a long time, my mother thought that she was born in the Amazon, Brazil, but that was not the case. She got that story mixed up. So, you know what? Who knows what else that woman has gotten mixed up? We give thanks. So, and where is Salem, Massachusetts? I never been to Massachusetts for real. This says great ancestress Tibuta was an enslaved Caribbean woman who was the first person accused in the 619 ooh child in the 1692 Salem witch trials, which was most likely she was most likely kidnapped from the Guyana region in South America and then sold through Barbados plantation. Now, upon doing my research, and I'm gonna have to dig a little bit deeper, but Barbados was one of the few places where during that time the original people completely is wiped out from the island. So currently there's no OGs, right? Whoever was there originally either fled or wiped out. Disease, Spanish. By the time the British came, it wasn't much left, supposedly, as the story goes. So then they brought in people from other places to pull up on the island. So my question is, where the OGs at? Because I know there's somebody somewhere, and I feel like there's somebody. It is finally safe to be you. You have wandered through a dark night. Your trip has been long. There is light ahead. Your liberation is apparent. You deserve to feel secure. Feeling safe is knowing that your basic needs are met. Feeling safe is feeling at home in your body. Feeling safe is trusting your journey. Feeling safe is feeling free around those who love, around those you love. Feeling safe is trusting that the sun will rise again. If you grew up emotionally, spiritually, or physically unsafe, reset your default expectations to a healthier vibration. Like, way to cut straight to it. Okay. Goddess declaration. I am safe. It is safe to be safe. Whew. It is safe to be safe. You know, as I've been going through this experience and doing my golden hour photo shoots, I've been purposeful about doing them because I just wanted to flood my timeline with a whole bunch of photos of me, and just even as I scroll through the photos, just seeing myself, you know? No explanation, no caption, no all these extra edits. You know, if I want to use some of the filters, sure. But the point is just, and specifically during the golden hour, because I wanted to see a whole timeline of, you know, just this gold. And blue is my favorite color. So this blue, white, and gold kind of a vibe with whatever other colors happen to come into play. We've had greens and reds and orange. And, you know, everybody's been a part of it. But that's the point. And I couldn't take YouTube behind the scenes because there's a portion of the photo shoot. I made an agreement that whatever I'm doing at the beginning of the sunset, that's what we're going to start taking pictures. So boom, we start taking pictures. I don't get dressed. I don't find no outfit that I'm like, whatever I got on, that's what we taking pictures of. Boom. You know what I'm saying? And when I first started, my goal was to capture this background and to keep capturing the background, to use the mirror to capture the background. That was the original idea. But then really the real goal was to just be able to get myself on camera with the sunshine hitting me. And I was like, how could I achieve that? So my original plan was to use the mirror to, you know, keep moving the mirror at different points within the space, stand wherever the light is, you know, take my photos, and then that be that. Then I discovered I could just, like, as the light is coming in, I'll just be in the ray of the light. I don't necessarily have to have a mirror there to manipulate it and go to different parts. Now, I still can do that, you know, if I really choose to. But the point was for it to be simple and easy. I wasn't, you know what I mean? I wasn't trying to do all this extra shenanigans. If I already had a wall of mirror and I could just pull up and take my photo, fine, you know? And then it turned into, let me try out these different layouts that they have in the pictures. And then they have these different filters and this, that, and the third. So I was like, okay, great. Then it was then it was like, okay, what else can I do with this light? You know. So that's where it's been at. And every day it's kind of just been like, you know, if for nothing else, if I didn't have no other time in the day to sit down and just sit with myself and be with my thoughts and kind of quiet the mind, this is a great time to do it, you know? I don't even play music in the background when I'm taking the photos. I just take the photos. And in my mind, I let the pictures speak for themselves. So rather than say whatever it is I was going to say in the caption, I just say it in my head, you know? And I'm not looking for the pictures to necessarily be that picture that I would use for a this, that, and the third, or the one that's perfect for the Instagram. It's just like, no, you about to get these floods of pictures because I'm finna take so many pictures. I highly doubt that any one person is gonna go through all of the photos that I'm taking in this time frame. Because it's about basically a 45-minute to an hour shoot, the whole sunset. You know, we getting that golden hour, so it's about an hour, you know? You know? And usually I start at 5:20 when that sun starts to hit. And then the sun is usually gone around 6:52. So almost an hour and a half. And that's why I take my time. You know, it's no rush. It's no rush. And usually there's some sort of challenge even within that. So, for example, yesterday, my challenge was, okay, even though it's the golden hour, during this golden hour, I gotta take a shower and do something with my hair. So I feel like at the beginning of the shoot, or was that the day before? No, yesterday I definitely took a shower, and then wet my hair. I don't know. I really don't know. But one of these days, I wet my hair and I was doing my hair as I was doing the shoot. So I started off with the hair looking crazy, and we ended up with hair and twists and scarf on. There was another day where I did take a shower, and it was wash day, so the hair was looking one way, and we washed it, and then we took photos with the towel on and off type of vibe. And I did that on purpose to show how long it took me from wash day to actually comb it out, to actually style it. Because I feel like there's photos like from the weekend where my hair is not styled like this. It's still neat, but I know that it's not combed through, it's not nothing, it's just washed, and we did what we could with it, you know. I want to share this tidbit because I think it's important. I went to this event over the weekend, Sip and Soak, LA, and at the event, I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I went out, I connected with someone that I met on TikTok. She taught me how to sew using a Singer machine, which was great for me, and I felt like I actually know how to sew, and I felt like with this information and this tutelage, I could go on into the world of fashion and do other things, because I feel like I have someone who I could connect back to in case I have a question about this, that, and the third. And that's what I was missing, and that's what was pissing me off about having gone to fashion school and the way that whole experience went down. Because yeah, I may have gained certain knowledge about how the industry runs and this, that, and the third, but I don't have now a resource or a foundation of people for me to go back to when it's time for me to go on and do other things in life. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I have opportunity to create that with a brand new set of people, and I have to be grateful for the people who are showing up for me and actually supporting me and actually wanting to see me win. You know what I'm saying? And I'm starting to feel like, there's people out there who do want to see you win, who want to support you in this, that, and the third. But sometimes they just literally can't because of what they are going through, And I know from experience because I am that person. I am that person who has wanted to be a version of myself that says, let's go. It ain't no thing. And there's a part of me that used to be that person. But I also now move with discernment, and that person before was just willing to go and do anything at any time and da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, we can't move like that no more. You know what I'm saying? And not that we should be afraid. It's not that. It's more so, because let's say, even if I'm an introvert and meeting someone is not going to be that bad, there's other factors that come into play that now that I'm an adult, you know what I mean, and I'm moving differently and I've matured, because I've been an adult for a while, but now that I'm matured and I'm making better decisions, it's more so like, can I commit financially, What time of the day is this event? There's other factors. There's other factors that come into play. And honestly speaking, the first time that they had the event, I was just like, how can I go? And the universe made a way. The universe made a way. And I shut it down. The universe made a way and I shut it down. And it's interesting that my great-great-grandmother is coming back in this reading, because even then, at the time of the shutdown, don't know how to explain it, but it didn't feel like the right opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And maybe I misinterpreted, or maybe I didn't. And sometimes you are just being tested. It's like if you know what you're focused on and you know what you want, then whatever is not in alignment with that, you have to recognize that and be able to say, nah, it looks and smells like it could be, but it's not it exactly. You know? And I really wanted to go to the event, and I was all ready to be like, look, let me just drop the ducats, you know? And a part of me wishes that I had, because I know that it would have been well worth it based off of the experience that I had this past weekend. I don't remember where the last one was at, but I felt like for the quality of the experience, it was definitely worth what was being asked. But I feel that way. This time, it was a different situation, and I was totally prepared for things to be how they were previously, but they were even better in my favor. So I say, you know what? We definitely pulling up. And since there was one coming up, I said, we're going to go right now. Because they had two more, but I was just like, nah, I feel like I need to go now, because the other two, I'm going to be busy. The other two, I'm going to be busy. It was crazy too, because at the event I asked, like, because the way that it was set up, it was like, I wasn't sure if one could come to all three events, but I still wasn't going to. I was going to pick one that I wanted to go to, and that was going to be it for me. And then, but I was just curious. And then, two, outside of this, because to me, this is like you have a thing going on, but now that you got me here and I like what you got going on, what do you have now that's set up where I do have to contribute? You feel me? So if you say, okay, I'm going to have a weekly thing at blah, blah, blah college, or blah, blah, blah event space, or blah, 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 whatever, whatever, whatever. You feel what I'm saying? And there's a cost to that. That I'm like, all right, I'm ready to pull up. Because I'm already here, you know. If there's a sign up sheet, this and that, and this and that, now you're creating a buzz. Now, when people walk in, what they see is a whole bunch of machines, you chit chatting with somebody, and somebody sitting on the couch filling out paperwork. So someone is sitting there like, well, what are you filling out? And people just like to feel, people just want to be a part of shit. So once they see shit, niggas is just fall in line. And the fact that she said she wanted to do a dance class makes me feel like, okay, I should really try to do this dance thing again. I'm not sure exactly where I would do it. I could possibly host it at the same spot where she's at, since that makes sense. You know what I mean? The only thing is, for me, it's nowhere near where I am. But that also may be good for me because I tried to do something here and these bitches didn't show up. You know what I mean? But if I have something that's gonna be at a space and they're allowed and we're allowed to put up flyers, and I can give them a flyer, and now we'll have a flyer in the neighborhood and people can see what it is, then that's different. You know what I'm saying? Then that's different. And if I put the event, I could try something new. I could put it on Eventbrite. If I try to put it on Eventbrite, and so now people are like, okay, well, it's on Eventbrite, so other people from wherever could find the event. Plus, it'll be up there. Plus, I'll have it on my social medias. So it's like, okay, now we've got all these different points of contact that we're advertising at. And then if I could put on the flyers somehow, I want to encourage people to share, to spread the word, share the word, something like that. Because if we do that, then it'll become easier to get the word out there, hopefully. But so knowing that, if I want to start hosting these classes, and knowing, let's say I pull up for free because it's a thing and I want these people to pull up, but then I want to host a something after, you know what, I will pull up for free and see what people want to do. Then once I gather the information, I'll know, one, what people's budgets are. Two, I'll have people, a database, you know what I mean? And then three, something to find out from them specifically what is it that they want to do. Then once I know specifically what it is that they want to do, I can tailor events specifically to what they got going on. Then I could set myself up to be in a situation to where you can either pay per event or you could become a club member, and whenever we have events or wherever we have events, then you just pull up, and the club membership fee could be something super low right now, like, let's say it's $25 for the year, or $25 for 3 months. $25 for 3 months I think is good, because it's $25. So you're like, okay, here's $25, and it's only for 3 months. You know what I'm saying? So if after 3 months you don't feel like you're pulling up at any of the events or anything like that, all you spent was $25. So if you went out to one event and it was for free, but then you paid $25 to be a part of the club, in your mind, you just paid $25 for that event. So you don't feel so bad that you didn't pull up on the next membership. And what I could do is, depending on the type of event it is, if you're a club member, the event could be discounted, or you can get drinks free, or or something. You know what I mean? We got to give the club members something, because that's why they're paying their $25 for the 3 months. One, to get access to knowing that these events is happening, and then two, they get some sort of something. You know what I mean? Like, let's say the event is open to the public, but you're a club member. Club members get um, priority access over general public. You know what I'm saying? So how I would see it is that if I was a part of the club, boom, I done spent my $25. I'm gonna try and come. And then, what kind of events are you throwing? Are the events free? Are they ticketed events? Like, what type of events are they? And then, so that's why I would say there would be a range of free events, donation based, and some ticketed. You know, and we work with everybody's budget. That's how I feel. You know what I mean? And that's how I feel should be happening with most of the businesses that are coming to fruition, especially now, if you're dealing with groups of people who just finished experiencing disparity on all types of levels. To have white supremacist prices and expect your kinfolk to substantiate that and uphold that seems ridiculous to me. So I'm always interested to know, like, okay, this is not what I expected from this place. And for these prices, I could stay in my neighborhood. You know, either I'm leaving my neighborhood for something better, something more valuable, which is to me, to, you know what I mean? Because now I done spent money to get to you, and then, you know what I mean? Versus something that's within walking distance, or 35 cents, not dollars, you know? So, but I could see if I worked in this type of an area, but I lived in that type of an area, so that my living expenses is actually lower, so then I actually have more of a disposable to say, okay, I could go a little bit further on my coffee, on my this, on my do. That mentality I could see. Go out there and get the coin and then bring it back here and drop it off, which I totally get. But at the same time, you don't own the property. I gotta find that out. What a day. You know, I really transformed this day. I really transformed this day. Because it could have been, whew. And I'm extra proud of myself because Today is Taco Tuesday. Today is Taco Tuesday. And the way my refrigerator is looking right now, and the way my bank accounts are looking right now, if I was to go out and get me a tacos, it would definitely put me in a position to be like, now was it worth it? Was it worth it? Because we are 2 days away from being able to order. We are 1 day away. We only have one more day to just chill. We have a lot to do tomorrow. However, we have flour. See, I'll be nervous sometimes. I'm like, well, what am I gonna eat for real? What am I going to eat for? I need something. Something. And I have just enough fixings for a smoothie, a small one, but still a smoothie. And I have flour. And I have ramen noodle. Now, granted, I think I only have one ramen noodle left. So let's not count the ramen noodle because it's likely I might actually eat that tonight. You know what I'm saying? Which means tomorrow, what we have is our smoothie situation, as well as our flour. Now, what we also have is some jalapenos that are frozen that I could thaw out and put into the bread and make some sort of jalapeno bread and see what that's given. I also have tomato sauce, so the idea is to make like, I could roll it up and make sort of like a breadstick situation, you know what I mean, and dip it in the sauce and like boom, that's a vibe. Okay, I also have lemon. If I really needed to eat a whole lemon, I would go ahead and eat a whole lemon, but what I'm going to do is give thanks, get through to. What I've been doing is drinking water. You know, when I've been feeling really, really hungry, just having drinking water, just drinking water, drinking water. Cause I feel like it's good to flush out your system, and I feel like it's good to detox. You know, so I feel like instead of, I do it every month. You know, I feel like I take a week where it's just very minimal eating, and mostly what I do is have the water. I gotta go. I feel like I've been talking to y'all for a minute. You know, I mean, I don't gotta go, but I'm going to go because I got other shit to do. But it's 8:11 now. Happy birthday to me. Every day is my birthday. All right, I'm gonna go. I love you. I love you. And I do. But yeah, I'm gonna go. Don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Stick around because my life is interesting. And I'm a good people's. Not that I need to sell myself, but you're gonna find your own reason to stick around. I ain't gotta tell you to do nothing. In the meantime, in between time, I'll check you hoes later. I love you.